jeez. Oh, man. Oh. Yo, what's up, guys? How am I doing this, you ask? Why do I have a black eye, you ask? Well, all questions will be answered very soon. What up, what up? What's up, Wendy? So here's the deal. I understand it's been quite a minute since I've been just kind of online. I don't really. There's just been a lot going on, man. To put it very blanket statement, a lot going on in my life right now. I'm learning a lot, and I'm doing a lot of things, and so I want to, get on here and let you guys know I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm turning my life around, and to put it the best way. I started a new journal. I want to show you guys my last journal that I did. So this was chapter 3, and recently I got to the last page. This is just the last where I have a bunch of practice my signature and whatnot, but I filled out the last page of that. And so now I'm on this book. I've already written some stuff on the side, some new quotes. I've written, this one's going a lot faster than any other book. I've already gotten this far in it. So these books are about 250 pages, and I wake up and I recommend this book. I do 3 morning pages a day, and on top of that, if I have creative exercise I do, or if I want to draw something, or if I write something, I fill up those pages throughout the day. So if I do 3 pages every day, it takes about 90 something days to 90 days to get everything done, which is about 3 months. But I'm gonna be at the point where I'm gonna be finishing a journal every less than 2 months. I want to talk to you guys though, because a lot's been on my mind. There's a lot I'm going through, and I think the best way for me to talk about the things I'm going through is by sharing all of my secrets with the world. So just for you guys to I don't know. I know you guys love when I do these lives and stuff, so I appreciate the support. But there's a lot that's happened recently. There's a lot that I have in the works, just to keep you guys updated, because I know that all you guys in here are my cores. I'm working in silence, and I'm not going to be putting something out or putting something forward until I'm absolutely ready. That being said, you'll hear from me soon. You'll see something. I won't say the word soon, but just know that I have a lot planned, and I'm doing this very carefully because I just want you all to I just want you all to know that I'm working, and like my absence from either social media or whatever, I hope is not affecting those of you who care about me and stuff. But I mean, to start it off, I'm very heavy right now, and I say heavy instead of sad or upset or depressed or insecure. I say heavy. The reason I say that, as of recently, I've been thinking about my approach to everything. The last 2 years of my life, creatively, there's a reason I picked up this book. It's because I'm a blocked artist. I'm a struggling artist trying to regain the confidence and the clarity I once had with myself, and I'm getting there. And through this journey, I've found so many things, including God, including my family, including old friendships, and my whole life has changed. The past 2 years have been really hard for me creatively. Being surrounded by so many egos and personalities every day, and being forced to make music that I don't like is tough. And for my talent, the thing that used to be my release, to become a job, was very tough. And now we're at the point where we can be honest with each other and kind of talk about these things. It was a really hard time for me, because at the end of the day, like, I love the guys, like those are my brothers, but the situation that we were in and the circumstances that were put around us stifled me as an artist, made me insecure, made me depressed. But I would never say I was depressed. When you're like really sad about something, but you want to be strong through it, and you're like I ain't sad. Like, wait, what are you talking about? Like I'm not gonna just like sit here and like be a little baby about this. Like, especially in my position, because I'm like, man, I got all this stuff going for me. Like I'm in a better position, a better place than I ever have been in my career, and yeah. So it's hard for you to like. It was hard for me to admit that I was not in the right spot. And my hair is getting way too long, but I mean, other than that, man, there's been a lot of things that are going on. Like I said, when I was going through all this, one of the things that I was paying attention to was Sergio, actually. And Sergio started going to church. Sergio started like praying before meals and stuff, and he started doing all this. And it wasn't necessarily that I was paying attention to, but I was paying attention to the way he was carrying himself, the way that he was just his attitude, and the way he talked to people, and the friendships he was making and stuff. And I was like, I really admired that. And I was like, man, I want that. My family grew up Catholic, but honestly, my view of church was I was never a big fan of church. I always went there and I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. I never connected with it, and it really turned me off to have to like wake up early on Sundays to go to a church that I didn't. And I'd like stand there, like be like, oh, we have to stand again. Like, now I have to sing a boring song that's not even that great to me. Like, that was the other thing, man. Like white churches, like the music's not that great. It's not. So that was like hard for me. But so that being said, I kind of resented that part of my life for a while. I was kind of like, you know what, this is when I got the most upset, it was kind of like I resented the idea of there being either a God or a higher power. And for those of you who who are uncomfortable with the term, think of me saying God as a good orderly direction. So instead of a Christian man and the sky, like, just get that picture out of your head. Let's just talk about something that promotes something greater than us as an individual, something that brings us together, and something that gives us a purpose to help each other out, something that's greater and perfect, divine, you know? Anyways, it's hard for me to, like, talk about this stuff, to be honest, because, like, it's such a you don't talk about religion or any of that, especially publicly. I feel like people just don't do it. But, I've been seeing, like, Justin Bieber and Kanye, obviously, like, so I want to share with you guys some stories, and you can just, all I ask is that you listen. These are true stories. Everything I tell you right now is true. Before boy band, 2017, even 2016, I was going through, it was probably the lowest point of my life, going through puberty and then just wanting to always do the, just wanted to always be the bad kid. I always walked around with a chip on my shoulder. I wasn't honestly, I wasn't a great person. I wasn't a good representation of a human being, like, to be frank. And I remember reaching an all-time low point where, I wanted to, that's good, I wanted to do this music thing, but it wasn't necessarily working out. But I can't do this. Hold on. My bad, guys. 1 second. Yo, are you good? You have everything? Okay, word. Sorry, I can't with people in my I can't do this with people in my space because I'm just like, and so I don't know, it's hard. So, anyways, I was at an all-time low as far as like, at the point where I was stripped of all of my personal strength. At some point, I was like, dude, like, I'm helpless. I've got nothing else. And so one of the things, I used to take walks to and from my girlfriend at the time's house. I used to walk, like, almost every night, back and forth. And on these walks, I was 17 at the time, and I was basically given an ultimatum of either you're gonna go to college or you're on your own. And on my own meant I was doing music by myself, supporting myself and all that. So I was like, man, this is tough. So I'm going back and forth from my girl's house, and I didn't even necessarily know how to pray or anything. I was just like, just talking out loud. I was saying what I wanted. I was saying my fears, saying what I was scared of. I remember, like, I had the Shine video, right? And I was like, I just need this Shine video to blow up. That's all I need. That's all I need, man. Like, if that blows up, like, I'll be fine. And I felt like that was like the last thing I had left. That was the absolute last, like, piece of art that I had, and if that didn't do well, it was, like, over for me, basically. And so, as I'm doing this every night, I'm saying these things, I'm asking for help. Of course, if you guys have watched Harry Potter, you know that if those at Hogwarts who ask for help always receive it. So, kind of the same mentality here. As I was like, man, I need help. I don't know if anyone's listening, but I need somebody. I need somebody listening. No one else is. Anyways, I was answered. I was helped. I got a DM from the casting producer on ABC, and my life changed. Of course. Now, granted, my life changed. I go through boy band, and I kind of stopped asking for help, stopped doing this because I was like, oh, I got it. Like, I'm good. I got through the door. By the way, I don't know. Sorry, you guys are distracting me, to be honest. You gonna tell us who we gotta fight for? You ain't gotta fight anybody. Y'all are distracting me, man. You kind of just, like, look, here's the thing. Y'all talking about comments. I get there's gonna be people in the comments who say certain things or whatever. Like, look, I understand. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all backing me up, but we gotta just. You can't fight fire with fire. You know, you can't go through life. Look, I appreciate that you guys want to protect me and you guys want to help me out, but it's at some point, like, if you're giving these people the attention that they want, that's what they want. They feed off of that. A lot of people are so insecure that they will say things or do things in order to get any sort of attention from somebody else. And at the end of the day, these people might even make threats, they might make comments, they might say certain things, but at the end of the day, it's all a reflection of the person that's inside of them and the true turmoil and the insecurity that they're dealing with. So I say, if anything, we just need to treat each other with respect. And obviously, I'm not going to get that respect. And I hope you guys know that through my career and through everything that I'm going through, I'm not gonna be the most loved guy my whole life. Like, I may do and say the right things and say things from my heart and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, some people are still gonna say rude things. People are gonna still have their opinions. Like, I was walking the other day, and keep in mind, yo, like, I've been killing it as far as, like, this whole life thing. Like, I'm going down the street, and I'm just walking. I'm going to Barnes & Noble to literally, like, it was this crazy thing. I'm going to, like, get a book, right? And I passed this group of kids, and I'm not looking at them. I'm not doing anything. But this guy's like, yo, like, that kid looks like Little Xan, but like a wannabe. And he says it, like, so that I can hear him. I didn't, like, look at him or anything. But that's the thing. It's like, I could have looked and I could have turned, and I could have gone crazy. 15, 16-year-old Conor would have been like, right at his face trying to throw hands, like, immediately. But I didn't. I heard it. I kept forward, and I just kept walking. So I say all that to say, there's a lot of noise. Sometimes, like, people try to throw you off your game, man. They really do. And I'm not speaking to the people who are call them the antagonizers. I'm just speaking to the people who love and respect yourselves and me and everyone else. So, that being said, let's move on. I'm done with all that. But, anyways, I want to get back to my story. So, I go through boy band, right? And I'm not really this whole prayer thing. I'm like, it was just that one time, you know, like, I ain't really, like, I'm not really about that life. And you know what? I'm going to fast forward to a couple months ago. Let's say, say like December-ish. No, like November, even October. Whenever I started this again, because I started this and I was doing the morning pages and I stopped around June or July, and that I stopped before tour, and that was like the worst decision I could have ever made. It made me so depressed, so like. It was the worst thing I could have done, because if I'm not creative, I'm depressed, because as an artist, as someone who has a career as an artist, if I'm not creating art, I feel worthless, I feel hopeless, I feel like I'm literally I feel like I literally have no purpose, like, to live, like, to put it bluntly and harshly, but it's really how I feel. And so I get back into this book, and this amazing woman, Julia Cameron, she talks about one of the main things is like dipping into the creative well, and she talks about the use of God, but in her words, good orderly direction. And so I'm doing this, and the whole concept is basically, you're not the one who's. I don't know if you ever heard artists saying, like, you're not the ones writing the songs. Like, I didn't write the song. Like, I was just the one with the pen. Like, you always hear that all the time. You're like, where are people getting this from? It's because to write songs, to create art, you have to listen. We're not the scientists. We're not the ones being like, oh, I gotta be better. I gotta be strong. I gotta do this. It's like, you just kind of gotta be open and listen, because you're gonna get fed the right idea, but it's, are you willing to jot that down? Are you scared to jot down what you're actually thinking, or are you gonna try to filter it and then jot it down? Because if you try to filter it too much, it's not gonna come out at all. And so through the exercises that this book was doing, I noticed my whole life changing around me. I noticed my relationship with my family getting better. I noticed I started my room and the things I was buying, the things I was treating myself with, like not just material things, but time. I was giving myself days where to just be by myself. I was saying no to hanging out with people who were toxic for me. I was saying no and removing myself from situations where I felt like the energy was, what's the word, like, just like, toxic is a good word for it. I just wanted to be smart and think of a better one. But anyways, so yeah, that had been going on, and I'm noticing these changes, and I'm thinking about this good orderly direction thing, but growing up, for me to grow up in church and all that, I was thinking of the God that I read about, like you hear about in the Bible, and I hear like the stories of Noah and Moses and all these things. Like, I went to Sunday school, I knew all that, so when I see the word God, I associate it with that. So naturally, I'm just gonna like kind of think of that, and when I see my life changing around me, I'm like, oh wow, like it really is a product of some higher power, some higher degree, whether it's and so much so that when I started writing music again, I was saying God in my music. I was saying it a lot. Not actually, I wouldn't say a lot, but it felt like a lot, because I never said that. I never really mentioned that, because I was like, I don't want to force a religious concept on somebody. I don't want people to feel uncomfortable with my music. And then it really scared me, because I had like 2 songs or 3 songs. The last 3 songs I wrote, I mentioned God, and like all of them I was like, dude, like, I'm scared, and it stopped me from writing. It really stopped me from writing. So I go up to the rooftop of this apartment building every day, and I look out on the city, and I talk and I pray, and I'm like, and the other night I was like, man, I'm scared to do this. Like, I'm scared to talk about what I want to talk about, so much to the point where I was like, do I need to use another word? Do I need to disguise this as something else? Because I'm scared of what people are going to say and whatnot. But it's something that is truly vulnerable, and my biggest thing is like, just be yourself and just be you and be authentic and all this stuff. And if I'm covering up myself and filtering myself, I'm not authentic. And so I was having a real problem with myself and the way I was feeling about it, because I was truly scared. So much like I was up there, and I was like, like no one around me besides Sergio is really like there to like support me, but he's not always around, so it's not like I have people like in my corner like, yeah, like you're doing the right thing. And that night, it was a Saturday. It was last Saturday. So last Saturday, I was on the roof and I was like, man, I'm very discouraged. I don't know what I'm gonna do. The next day, I was like, you know what? I haven't gone to church in like over a year. It's been like willingly gone to church, and I've been to like Christmas Eve mass and all that stuff, but I hadn't really gone to church and like ever willingly. Like I can't even remember the last time I did that willingly. Nah. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I woke up and I was looking up churches around my area, and I found this one, and I was like, man, like this looks cool. The website looks cool. Like it looks different. It's not like you go and it's like the traditional thing. Unfortunately, by the time I was looking at the website, I had missed both the morning and the afternoon services. And so I was like, man, but there was a 6 p.m. one, but it was downtown LA. Now I'm not in downtown, so I was like, oh, I'll have to take the train. It was Sunday, so I was like, you know what? I told myself I was going to do this. I'm committed to it. I'm going to get on the train. I'll go have a day by myself. I'll walk around, kill some time before. I go and I stumble across the Grammy Museum, like right by the Staples Center. And I was like, okay, like this is cool. Like, had a nice like inspiration session, whatever you will. And then I went to this place. And when I went to this place, I get in the parking lot, and I don't really know where I am. I don't know what's going on. But this guy comes up to me, and he's actually the pastor from the website. His name's Jeremy. And Jeremy tells me, he's like, hey, man, like, this is my wife, and I want to, like, come in. Like, let me show you around. Where are you from? Like, what are you doing here? I was like, I just saw, like, the website or whatever. So I go in, and long story short, they're building a church. They're building a church, but it's a creative church of, they got a whole kids area. They're building a studio. They're building, they have videographers, they have a whole band, they have all this stuff, and I'm seeing all these people, and I'm overwhelmed because I thought I'm going to just a service, but it's just really like a meeting, a gathering to all help build this place. And they have like a coffee stand where they're all making coffee for each other, and everyone who came up to me was so welcoming and inviting, and like no one like I ever met in LA, because I come out to LA and everyone's a taker. They want to take from you. They're like, hey man, like what do you do? And I'm like, what do I do? I'm a kid from Ohio, blah blah blah. No, but like, what do you do? Like they like kind of give you that look, and I'm just like, all right, man. Like I'm a musician. Like I'm in a band. I'm out here. Like I got this many followers, and like I give them the whole rundown, and they're like, oh, okay. And by that, then they judge whether they're gonna be friends with you. But I go to this place, and it's none of that. It's who are you? Like, how'd you get here? What's your family like? Like tell us about you, blah blah blah. Like show us your music, like we want to hear all that stuff. And so I'm like, man, like this is, I was overwhelmed. I met so many people. I was put in a group. I was building bleachers for the future stage that they're gonna put up there. And I was like, man, I was overwhelmed, because I was like, man, I've never felt this before. This is a different type of energy. And so I left, and I was realizing, man, like I didn't just like leave. Like there was other stuff that happened, but I'm just kind of skipping through the story because there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot I need to update you guys about. And so I leave, and I'm like, well, technically, like, I mean, my prayer was answered. I felt like I didn't have anyone supporting me. I felt like I didn't have, help and encouragement. And the next day, I meet all these new people. All these new people are here to support me and be my genuine friend and care about me and not want to take from me. And of course, it strengthened my faith after that. And the next week, last Sunday, 2 days ago, I went to my first service, the actual service. I made sure I was on time, and I got the time to go to this place. I go there, and Jeremy gives his word, and it has direct correlation with everything that I'm going through, all the struggles. So much so that I go and I talk to him afterwards about it, and I'm like, hey man, like, I told him about my fears of being, my music and all that, and he was saying, what I got from his response was that this is a sacrifice that I'm being called to do. This is a sacrifice for myself, for the world around me, that if I'm being pulled to do something, at some point I just have to let go and just allow it to happen. Because if I don't, I'm just going to continue to be blocked. I'm going to continue to not make art. I'm going to continue to not write. I'm going to continue to not do anything because I'm not really allowing myself to fully feel anything. And he was like, this is a sacrifice. So then he asked me, he was like, hey man, do you have a Bible? And I was like, nah, I don't have a Bible. I've never owned a Bible. I've never thought about it, and he was like, I can get you one if you'd like. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna take this as a sign. I'm gonna get one today. After this, I'm gonna go and get one. And so I leave, and I get on one of those wheels. Out here they have the bird scooters, but there's these things called wheels that are actual bikes. And these bikes go like 35 miles an hour, right? Super fast. I use them all the time to go wherever I need to go. And so I get on them, and I'm going. I'm not getting that far. There's this bump in the sidewalk. You know how the sidewalk sometimes has that? I'm going this way. I see the bump, but I'm like, the wheel will clear it, Sadly mistaken. The front wheel hits this bump in the sidewalk, and the front wheel flies clean off the bike. Completely separate from the bike now. And I'm like, of course I fall. I get this my black eye is not from anything but this little scrape on my eye right here. Got a scrape and the blood rushed to my eye. But that's not all that I hit. I also hit my hands. In my hands, it was a bad scrape. It was very bad. And I looked in my hands and I was like, this is a story I'm going to tell later. But I look at my hands and I'm overwhelmed because this is what happened. So I get up, and it looks literally like I have holes in my hands. A scrape on my eye. And I was overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed to the point where the whole time that I was going, I wasn't overwhelmed in pain, but to me it was a sign. And I say this with such I want to say this as open as possible just because I don't want to turn people off to me or my message, but I'm just telling you guys about my life and what we've gone through. But I look at my hands, I notice a scrape in my eye. I noticed these on my hands, and I was walking to the Grove, and I'm just on the sidewalk in tears the whole way. The whole way I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't stop. I wasn't sad. I just knew something had something was overwhelmingly taken over my life. Something had told me, like, I mean, y'all know what this is, man. Y'all know what that is. And at first I was very scared. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, like, even just thinking about it is like, it's a lot. So, and it was just bleeding because I went in and out and I washed my hands. But I'm walking around, because I can't close my hands at the time because they're bleeding. So I have to walk around like this, or I'm walking around like this. So I'm walking around like this, and I'm going to get a Bible. Keep in mind, this is Sunday. This is the first day I've gone to church. I go and I fall, and I get this on my hands and this on my eye on the way to get a Bible. I'm crying the whole way. And on the way is when the guy talked about, they gave me the little Zan comment, which I was like, whatever. But it was funny because I go and I get the Bible, right? And I'm like in the Bible section. I feel so weird. I'm like, what am I doing here, man? Like, this is crazy. So I pick it out. I go down. My hands are still like bleeding. And I'm going to the counter, and I noticed the guy, of course, the guy I go to, who's like checking me out, has a cross necklace. Like, I'm like, all right, of course. So I go and I hand him this Bible. I'm like, yeah, man, like, this is it. I take out my card, and he sees my hands, like the Bible. He's got a cross. I'm just kind of like looking at him. I'm like, yeah, man, like, have a good day. Like, yeah. I'm just trying to like I'm in no position to like talk or like anything. I'm just like freaked out. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, so much to the point where I had to text the pastor. I was like, man, like, something just happened to me. I need to talk to you. Like it's nothing bad. Like, I need insight. I need an answer. And so I go back to the 6 p.m. service, and I'm like, I get there and I sit through the whole thing again. Like, I've gone to church twice in a day. This is unheard of. I've never done this in my life. So I'm there, and afterwards I get a chance to talk to him, and he comes up to me and I show him my hands, and he's like, oh my gosh. He just looks at me. He's like, wow. Like, he's like, whoa, like, because I just talked to him about the sacrifice and he told me about the sacrifice that I was making, you know? He was telling me that I had to sacrifice something in the same way that another man sacrificed himself. And it was so much to the point where I had to actually see. I had to actually see with my own eyes the evidence that I had to see it. And I was shown what sacrifice really is. And man, I have a hard time with this because it's so new to me, and a lot of times, you know, something good will happen. I'll receive a blessing. I'll receive a gift. And it's a clear gift from God, from good orderly direction to those of you who are on the fence. And at some point I just had to see it. I had to see it. I had to feel it. And these aren't just like scrapes, man. These are deep. Pretty deep. it's been really hard for me to like, it's been really hard for me to live with all of this right now and to not be sharing it with you guys because I don't know how to. So I figured the best way was to get on this live stream and share my story with whoever may be on the internet at this perfect time, because I feel like whoever's in this live stream, this was probably meant for you to hear. And yeah, it's my life has been it's been such a rush. There's been so many dramatic alterations. I want to tell you guys the name of this church now because it's a great place. It's called Fearless. It's called Fearless LA. And they're amazing people. I encourage you guys to come out, to come hang with us. These are their hats, actually. I'm going to be there at, the services. I'm going to be there building the church, and if you guys want to be a part of it, check out their website. And I just want to tell you guys that in the same way that this was, I think it's ironic. Not ironic, it's perfect. It's perfect because it's perfect. It's perfect timing because I think it's so perfect that the name is Fearless, because of everything that I was going through. The church that I found ultimately was one rooted in fighting fear. And yeah, I was saying, that's funny. Look, here's the thing, guys. For those of you who are in this live, I'm there, and I would love to meet you guys, but this is not my event. This is not my event, so know what you're coming for. Understand what you're coming to. This is not this is not a meet and greet. It's not what this is. But if you are there, you are present, I am more than happy to talk with you guys afterwards, to hear your stories. For right now, I'm at a point where there's some big things coming my way. Some things that are bigger than me. A lot bigger than me. And I know my life is going to change this year. I feel it. And that being said, this is what I've learned from all this is that it's not about me. None of this is about me. It's not about my strength. It's not about me being the best. Oh, I'm so tough. I'm so strong. I can take on life. It's not through me. At the end of the day, I'm just an instrument. That's what I've learned. I'm an instrument. I'm a tool. And I encourage you guys to come. But also, the reason I tell you guys this is because I believe that at the end of this year, I will not be able to... Here's another fear I'm going to share with you guys. And I'm going to say it because I only have 187 people in here right now. I'm very scared. And this is something that I have to overcome right now. I'm scared of my success. I'm a very free person. I love to go on walks. I love to go outside. I love to go talk to random people. I love to be out in the world by myself. And unfortunately, with the career path that I'm taking, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be possible at the end of this year. With all the amazing things, all the amazing blessings that are coming to me, it's crazy to say I will not be able to go in public like I can right now. And so I've been taking this time to go to concerts, to go outside and shop by myself and roam this world as much as I can, because what I have coming is so big, and it's so great that I'm bound to. It'll be at one point it'll be dangerous for me to be out by myself. I'll need to have security. I'll need to have all these things, and that's okay. This is what I signed up for. This is the life that I chose. You know, I believe that especially after all this, that I'm a prophet, somebody who is meant to spread the word, and somebody who's meant to preach a positive message and really help people. And helping people comes with a lot of strong attachments. It comes with a lot of dependency, emotional dependency on myself. And I'm scared, not for myself, but for my family. I'm scared that my brothers and my sisters will be in school and they will be a target. I'm scared that people are going to find where I live. I'm scared that people are going to start showing up and my family's safety is going to be compromised because of this. I'm scared of all this, but you know, like Pastor Jeremy always told me, he said, those who are with us are greater than those who are with them being the enemy. And so I know that as long as I'm able to open my eyes and see, I'll see that it is my enemy who's outnumbered, which is my fear, my insecurity, all of that. And so I don't have to fear these things. I don't. But it is scary because I'm not there yet, you know. I know how dramatically my life is going to change, and especially the fact, like, that, you know, me, I'm at a great place in my life right now. Like, I love where I am in the sense where I can go out places, and when I meet a fan and I'm recognized and I get to take a picture, it's such a joyous moment because I have all the time in the world to sit and talk to everyone, take the pictures, shake hands, ask people their name. And that, it feels so good right now, you know? It feels so good to know a lot of you by name and to recognize you. And I will always recognize you guys. I always will. But there's a lot more coming. And it makes me really sad to think about not being able to stop for 20 minutes, for 15 minutes, to speak with a group of you for however long I want to, because I'm going to have this meeting, or I'm going to have this show, or this thing I have to get to, or there's just too many people around me that I can't focus on this one person or this group of people. Or look, it's my job to be honest with y'all and let y'all know how I'm feeling. But just know that by me saying this out loud, it's also giving me answers. Because I will continue to be somebody that holds you guys with the utmost respect. I will always be respectful to you all. And one of the things I'm gonna have to pray for is being overwhelmed by the amount of people, because it's gonna come fast. And I've seen artists go through this period of their life where they're not ready for it, and it destroys them. So I'm scared about that. I'm like, oh man. But I have seen that, and I know that that's a real thing. So knowing that, I can prepare myself for it. And yeah, I mean, I'm saying all this just because I care about you guys, and I care so much. A lot of people, though, especially rappers, like their favorite phrase is "I don't give a fuck." All these rappers, they're talking about "I don't give a fuck this, I don't give a fuck that." Like, but the truth is, I really care. Like, I care a lot, too much. No, not too much. I don't care too much. I care a lot, though, and I care a lot to the point where every comment, every interaction weighs on me a lot. I wouldn't say weighs on me in a negative way, but it really affects me. I really pay attention to it, and I let it influence my life. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know, like that's what it is. It's real. And I hope that those of you who are in this live right now, you understand that we are on this incredible journey together, and I can't wait to meet you guys throughout the rest of this year. I can't wait to see you and take pictures with you. At the end of the day, you guys know me. I'm always be there until they kick me out. Always. Because life, I've realized, especially after losing so many leaders, we lost Nipsey Hussle, we lost Mac Miller, we just lost Kobe Bryant. We lost leaders, great leaders, one of the people who have dramatically impacted the world around us and shaped a lot of the people that we even consider leaders. So many of my favorite rappers were inspired by Kobe Bryant, and without Kobe Bryant, I don't know if they would have had the same mentality, that same drive, And so, the world is losing these people. And the other day I was feeling really heavy. Not, again guys, I say heavy, and I was telling Helen, I was like, the world is in pain right now. There's so much pain. Everyone's struggling. Look around us. We're on Skid Row. All these homeless people. People that our city has pushed. Be like, oh, they all want to hang out there? Alright, let's just make that their area. Let's let them all rot together. And let's let them all just we don't have to worry about them if we just put all of them over there. I'm in Hollywood. I see Hollywood Boulevard every day. There's so many people on the streets that just need help. No one's helping them. I don't know who the mayor is. I don't know who's in charge of all of this, but this is not right. These are money-hungry savages that want to take as much as they can from the world around them, and nobody's giving. But the truth is that if you give, you will receive tenfold. because God wants you to give. He wants you to be a person of the world, be a person of the people. That's why I'm an artist, is because I don't make music for me. If I made music for me, I wouldn't have a fan base. I wouldn't have any of y'all. If I make music for the world. I make music to impact people. I make music because I see what it does. I see the impact that it has. I give. I try my best. People aren't giving. Well, that's why we're so scared, is because we focus on what we don't have and we try to take it from other people, you know? Man. And we lost people who were givers at the end of the day. We lost leaders who were so selfless that they were willing to use their gifts and their lives to be great. To be great, not for themselves, but for those around them. To be a hero to people. And we lost heroes, we lost leaders, we lost givers. And I felt all of this, and I still feel it. It's just this energy in the air that's like, it's not a dark cloud, it's just, I feel the room, I feel what the street's emotions are like. I feel everything. And what it's telling me is that my job is now, I gotta use Kobe Bryant's death to inspire me to be like him. I have to use people like Nipsey Hussle, like Mac Miller, we gotta fill these spots, man. We're losing great people. And we can either look at that as they're gone. No more hope. No more heroes. We just gotta give in. We can either think like that, or we can fight our fear and be those leaders ourselves. At the end of the day, everyone's a leader and everyone's an artist, regardless of what you say. It's hard for me to go online and, after I tweeted, like if you guys make any art, and stop saying it's not art, by the way. The thing that makes me annoyed and frustrated is when you guys tell me, oh, I do this, but it's not art. It is art. Everything's art. If it's expression, it's art. So, that being said, I encourage you guys to keep sharing your gifts with the world. I have 2 minutes left. I encourage you guys to share your gifts with the world around you, with your friends, through the internet, all that stuff. I want to see it. If you make something, tag me on Twitter. If I see it, I will follow you. I will be following everybody who makes something and puts it out to the world, whether it's a singing cover, whether it's a journal entry, whether it's you make clothes, whether you dance, whether you play video games and you got a crazy kill or something, whether you build Legos, whether you, I don't know, literally anything, whether you cut and sew or you, but you really got to think of the things that you express. That is your art. So, with a minute left, what do I say? Actually, I could give you guys a room tour real quick. So this is my desk. I got my book, journal, The Artist's Way. This is my X-Wing. Got some Lego guys, some books, Rubik's Cubes. I'm getting an Xbox soon, but this is my laptop. Got a monitor right there. This is the Apollo, my microphone, headphones, some Legos, and desk over there. But this is really my workstation, and I have this button right here. If I press it, it moves down. Pretty tight. Anyways, guys, I have 15 seconds left, so I love you so much. Have a great day. Have a great night. And I love you all so much. Bye-bye.